Have you ever pondered what truly matters as we embrace our golden years? At 81, I moved into a nursing home, expecting a familiar journey. However, a year later, I discovered that aging is a beautiful tapestry woven with surprises, some uplifting, some challenging, and some that transformed my outlook on life. Join me as I share 7 invaluable lessons I've learned during my time here. These lessons can guide you or your loved ones through the aging process with wisdom and grace. Some insights may resonate with what you already know, while others might spark a fresh perspective on growing older. By the end of this video, you'll gain a deeper understanding of aging gracefully and perhaps glimpse your future in a new, more hopeful light. Stay with me until the end, as the last lesson had the most profound impact on me and could forever change how you view your own journey through aging. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Turn on the bell to keep up with our upcoming videos filled with wisdom and joy about aging and living well. Let's dive into it. Number 1. Loneliness is a choice, not a sentence. When I first stepped into the nursing home, I expected to feel isolated. Having lost my partner years ago and with my children busy, I thought loneliness was an inevitable part of aging, something I would have to accept. But after a year here, I learned something that reshaped my entire perspective. Loneliness isn't a condition, it's a choice we make. I observed 2 distinct types of residents: those who stayed in their rooms waiting for visitors, convinced they were forgotten, and those who ventured into the halls, sharing smiles and starting conversations. The difference wasn't in their situations but in their mindset. One remarkable woman, Margaret, exemplified this lesson. With no family nearby and no visitors, she radiated happiness. I asked her secret, and she laughed, saying, "I knock on doors, I sit at full tables, and I never wait for happiness to find me. I seek it out." Her words resonated deeply within me, and I decided to embrace her approach. Instead of isolating myself in my room, I began greeting people in the hallways. I joined a card game, even though I hadn't played in years, and engaged others about their lives and stories. Something magical happened. My world expanded. The more I reached out, the more others embraced me. I wasn't merely passing time, I was forging meaningful connections. I discovered that loneliness isn't about being physically alone. It's about choosing to disconnect from others. There are always opportunities around us to talk, laugh, and connect, but we must seize them. If you ever feel lonely, reflect on whether you are waiting for someone to come to you or if you're ready to take the initiative. The truth is, those who wait often remain lonely, while those who reach out discover companionship, a sense of purpose, and even joy. Independence can fade swiftly if we let it. Upon arriving at the nursing home, I noticed a concerning trend. Residents who once thrived on self-sufficiency began to shy away from trying new things. Take Richard, for example. A once strong man, he began asking for help with even the smallest tasks he had previously managed alone. In my journey through life, I discovered that what seems harmless at first can lead to unexpected challenges. I watched as the years passed, and I noticed myself becoming weaker, less confident, and increasingly dependent on others. The truth is, when we stop using our abilities, we risk losing them. I quickly learned that maintaining our independence is a conscious choice. Sure, it's easier to let someone bring me a cup of coffee, but every time I choose that path, I give away a little more of my strength and independence. That's why I made a personal commitment. If I can do it, I will. Even if it takes longer or feels uncomfortable, I choose to take action. I take the stairs whenever possible, dress myself each morning, and move even when I don't feel like it. This isn't about proving anything, it's about holding on to my abilities for as long as I can. Aging doesn't rob us of our independence overnight. It's the small, seemingly insignificant choices that accumulate over time. I've witnessed people unknowingly surrender their independence simply because they stopped fighting for it. So, if you're still living on your own, don't let convenience rob you of your abilities. Move, stretch, lift, and stand. Whatever you can do, keep at it, because the moment you stop, you start to slide into a space where help becomes a necessity. And I assure you, that's a place you don't want to find yourself. If you resonate with these insights, drop a 2 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our inspiring content. Your support fuels our mission to uplift and inform you. Number 3. Health flourishes with routine. When I first arrived at the nursing home, I observed something intriguing. Some residents were vibrant, engaged, and full of life, while others seemed to fade away, losing energy and interest. Initially, I thought it was simply a matter of health, but over time, I realized the crucial role of routine. I met George, a retired teacher in his late 80s who had an unwavering morning routine. Every day, without fail, he woke up at the same time, shaved, dressed neatly, and took a refreshing walk before breakfast. He had dedicated times for reading, socializing, and even exercising, which kept him sharp and alert. He radiated life. In contrast, I met others who lacked structure. They woke up at will, skipped meals, and let the hours slip away unnoticed. The disparity in their mental and physical health was striking. I learned quickly that both the body and mind thrive on structure. Without it, everything can start to unravel. I've seen it time and time again. Those who once thrived began to decline simply because they lost their purpose to stay active. So I made a promise to myself. Every day must have a plan. Even on days when motivation is low, I wake up, shower, and dress. I set aside time for meals, reading, and a little movement. I make it a point to step outside, even if just for a moment. Each day is an opportunity to move, to engage, and to truly live. By creating a routine, we can keep our spirits high and our bodies active. Let's embrace the power of structure in our lives and choose to thrive, no matter our age. Remember, every small step counts in our journey toward health and happiness. Every day, I take a few moments to connect with others, and it truly enriches my life. It's not just about keeping busy. It's about staying engaged and embracing every day. Aging isn't solely about our bodies growing older. It's about how we choose to spend our days. I've seen firsthand that those who create and maintain even the simplest routines keep their spirits bright and their minds sharp. I've witnessed the power of routine. If you want to stay independent and feel like your true self for as long as possible, I encourage you to build a routine and stick with it. It may seem small at first, but over time, these little habits can transform your life in remarkable ways. When I first entered the nursing home, I believed that the happiest residents were those in the best health who had frequent visitors. But I learned that happiness doesn't always correlate with good health. Some of the most joyful people I've met face significant challenges, while others, seemingly healthy, were often consumed by complaints. One remarkable woman I met, Eleanor, was 86 and struggled with severe arthritis. Despite her pain, she chose to greet everyone with a smile each morning, asking how they were and sharing kind words. Happiness, she said, is not about what happens to you, but how you choose to see things. Her wisdom taught me that our perspective shapes our experience. I've encountered many who, despite fewer hardships than Eleanor, were bitter and focused on what they had lost. The truth is, if we dwell on what's gone, we miss out on the beauty of what remains. Aging brings changes, that's a fact. But what truly matters is what we choose to focus on each day. Each day, I remind myself of the choice I have, to focus on what I miss or to embrace what I still have. I can either complain about the challenges or be grateful for the possibilities still available to me. Aging does not have to define my happiness. Instead, I can cultivate joy in the present. I've learned that happiness isn't a stroke of luck. It's something we create and practice. Those who age gracefully are not necessarily those with the best circumstances, but rather those with the most positive mindsets. If you wake up expecting negativity, that's what you'll find. But if you choose to look for the good, you'll discover joy in each new day. If you're still with me, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment number 4 below to let me know you're engaged. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our uplifting content. Your support means the world to us as we strive to inspire and inform you. Family visits can be unpredictable, but friendships are what truly sustain us. When I first moved into the nursing home, I thought family visits would be the highlight of my days, and they were at first. Seeing my children and grandchildren brought me joy and something to look forward to. However, as time went on, those visits became less frequent due to busy lives and complicated schedules. But I discovered that friendships, forged in shared experiences and understanding, filled my heart with warmth and connection. There was a time when weeks would pass without a visit, and I felt that familiar ache of waiting, hoping, and disappointment when the phone stayed silent. But then I noticed something. The residents who spent their days waiting for family were often the loneliest. In contrast, those who forged friendships within the nursing home radiated joy and laughter. They always had someone to share their day with. That's when I truly understood the power of community. Family is indeed precious, but it's the friendships we nurture that sustain us. Take Albert, for example. His son lived 2 hours away and visited only every few months. Yet, Albert was never sad or lonely. Each morning, he savored coffee with a cheerful group of friends, played cards in the afternoon, and shared meals filled with laughter and love. Curious about his positivity, I asked Albert how he stayed so upbeat despite the infrequent visits. He simply smiled and said, "I stopped counting the visits and started counting the people who are here every day." That perspective shift transformed his experience. Instead of dwelling on family visits, he focused on the wonderful people around him, making an effort to connect, check in, and join activities, even on days when he felt like retreating to his room. The more he engaged, the less lonely he felt. It's true, our families love us deeply, but they also have their own lives and responsibilities. While they may not be able to visit as often as we would like, that doesn't diminish their love. It's just a part of life. We can choose to feel forgotten or take the initiative to build connections right where we are. I've witnessed it time and again. Those who wait for family often feel the weight of disappointment. But those who invest in friendships and actively participate in their community truly thrive. At the end of the day, love isn't just about blood relations. It's about who shows up, who cares, and who helps make our lives a little less lonely. Often, those who brighten our days are not our relatives, but the friends we see every day. As we age, we find that the past can become vivid and comforting, sometimes overshadowing the present. I can recall the scents wafting from my mother's kitchen, the melodies that played on the radio, and the joyful laughter of childhood friends. Yet ask me what I had for lunch yesterday, and I might pause to think. I've noticed this reminiscence in others as well, as conversations often drift to cherished memories of old jobs, young love, and times gone by. The past is familiar and warm, a time when we felt strong and needed, where life brimmed with possibilities. But we must be cautious. Spending too much time looking back can cause us to overlook the beauty of the present. I once met Frank, an 89-year-old storyteller who could recount his youth in vivid detail, yet he focused solely on the past. He rarely joined activities or showed interest in the lives of those around him, as if he believed his life had already concluded. Then there was Helen, age 84, who loved to reminisce about her past as well. However, she balanced her fond memories with a vibrant interest in the present. Helen engaged in activities, asked others about their lives, and embraced every moment. She taught me that while our past shapes us, it's the present that truly matters, and it's never too late to create new memories and connections. In his younger days, he shared vivid stories of adventures and joyful times. Yet, as the years passed, he found himself lost in those memories, forgetting to engage with the vibrant world around him. He never participated in activities or inquired about others' lives, as if he believed his journey had reached its end, even while life still pulsed around him. I remember a wise woman who once told me, "I have more yesterdays than tomorrows, but that doesn't mean today doesn't count." Her words resonate deeply with me. Nostalgia is indeed a beautiful gift. It connects us to our past, revealing the lives we've built and the moments that have shaped us. But we must ensure it doesn't overshadow the precious present. We still have conversations to enjoy, meals to savor, and people to connect with. Life may have changed, but it's still unfolding around us. If we dwell too much on the past, we risk missing the beauty of the present. So, share your stories and cherish your memories. Smile at the moments that warm your heart, but don't forget to look around and embrace the life that is still happening. No matter how many years we've accumulated, our present time is a treasure that still matters. If you're finding value in these insights, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so. Your support means the world as we strive to create uplifting content that inspires and informs. Now, let's move to an important point. Small pleasures make a big difference. As we age, our world may feel smaller, with the grand adventures and milestones becoming part of our past. Yet, It's in the everyday moments, the simple routines and small joys, that we can find true fulfillment. After spending a year in a nursing home, I've witnessed firsthand how the smallest things can bring immense joy. One sweet gentleman, Harold, at 82 years old, lights up every time he shares his cherished butterscotch candy. This little ritual of offering candy to visitors may seem trivial, but for him, it's a source of comfort, connection, and happiness. I've learned to appreciate these moments myself. There's something magical about that first sip of hot tea in the morning, the gentle sound of birds outside my window, or the familiar greetings of friends in the hallway. When life slows down, these tiny joys become our daily highlights. I've seen that those who embrace these small pleasures are often the most content. Conversely, I've also observed individuals who focus solely on what they've lost, the trips they can no longer take, or the activities they can no longer enjoy. This mindset can lead to bitterness and emptiness, making it harder to find joy. The truth is, happiness often resides in the little things: a warm meal, a kind conversation, a peaceful moment. When we learn to appreciate these small treasures, life shines a little brighter, no matter where we are in our journey. So, take a deep breath and notice something small around you right now. A sound, a smell, a taste, or a feeling that brings you even the slightest bit of joy. Hold on to it, for in those moments, we find the richness of life, reminding us that joy can always be discovered, even in the simplest of things. In the end, it's not the grand events that give our lives meaning, but the small pleasures that fill our days with joy. After spending a year in a nursing home, I've discovered that aging isn't merely about getting older, it's about choosing how we embrace the years we have left. Independence may wane if we allow it, but by staying active and engaged, we can hold on to more than we realize. Loneliness isn't an inevitable fate, it's a choice. The more we reach out, the more connected we become. Routine isn't just a way to pass the time, it's the backbone that keeps our bodies and minds resilient. Attitude is everything. The happiest individuals I've encountered aren't always those in perfect health, but rather those who focus on what they still possess instead of what they've lost. Family visits may not be frequent, but friendships can bridge the gaps and provide steadfast companionship. The past will always be a part of us, but if we dwell there too long, we might miss the beautiful moments still waiting to unfold. Ultimately, it's the little things: a warm cup of coffee, shared laughter, or sunlight streaming through a window, that bring us the deepest joy. If there's one takeaway I hope you'll remember, it's this: life doesn't cease to exist when things change. There's always room for connection, growth, and happiness if we choose to embrace it. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments one thing you've learned and how you plan to incorporate it into your life. Your thoughts mean the world to us. Reading your comments motivates and encourages us deeply. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep creating uplifting content to inform and inspire. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.